next movie, Kong Skull Island. Really well written. And somewhat like the Jessica Lange, Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin King Kong of made in 1976. I think that was my favorite King Kong film. And it's only because they find Jessica Lange in an evening gown and laying inside of a lifeboat. And I could really connect with the Jeff Bridges character. He's a scientist. But it's a very good movie. It's about corporate oil greed. They go to the island. Charles Grodin is the head of the exploration team for the oil company. And they're trying to exploit the oil on the island, only to find out from the character played by Rene Auberjonois, who plays Roy Bagley, that the oil is absolutely no good because it is too fresh. It needs to cook for a while in the ground. So thus they grab the King Kong and use him, or exploit him. But in this movie it's something similar. The military, this is 1973, Nixon's about to be kicked out of the White House. The war in Vietnam's coming to an end. And this island, Skull Island, is discovered off the coast of Vietnam. The United States government decides to go to Skull Island looking for caves. They don't say until all the credits are rolled. You won't find out. But they want to go to Skull Island to look for hidden caves underneath the island to track these monsters that they found in the depths. Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra. They believe somehow they had originated under Kong Island or Skull Island. So a team of experts, and there's a Chinese girl in this too, Jing Tian. She's very pretty. So they arrive at this island under the military command of this whacked out military guy who's really upset that they had lost the war to Vietnam. And he's determined not to lose another war, and so when he gets in a personal battle with King Kong over the destruction of his men, the destruction of the helicopters, which was bombing King Kong's island, King Kong showed up and destroyed the helicopters. So he decides that he's going to go to war with King Kong and take him out because he's not losing any more battles. The whacked out general known as Preston Packard is played very effectively by Samuel L. Jackson. He becomes the military leader in this operation. But the fact is that King Kong is played very well in this. He's actually played for the very first time as an actual gorilla would be. Because gorillas are very gentle, loving creatures that look after other animals. They're not like chimpanzees, which would kill you on sight if they hated you. One of the scariest parts I found in this was the giant spider. It's about the size of maybe 3 houses on top of each other, and it would impale the people below, shoving some type of appendage straight through their bodies, and then haul them up for feeding. The spider really creeped me out. They had to shoot the legs off it to make it fall down, and they shot it in the face to kill it. That was the creepiest scene for me in this movie. Not the underground monsters that come out, 2-legged monsters, lizard monsters that come out to attack them and kill just about everybody. If you want to see the next Godzilla movie, then you need to stay through the credits. There will be a blackout at the end, and you'll just hear a voiceover which lightens up to show the beginning of the next Godzilla movie. And I believe 90% of the audience walked out before that happened, so they never got to see that part. Skull Island, King Kong Skull Island is written very well. Very enjoyable movie. So now you got your choice between what type of King Kong movie that you want to see. This one is more about exploitation of the island to find further monsters. And I would recommend it as a really great addition to the King Kong Godzilla franchise, and a really great adventure. Oh, and I think it would have been a far better movie if they had stuck with the beginning, where a Japanese airman and an American airman were fighting. There's World War II, and they're trying to shoot each other down over the island, and they both ended up damaging their aircraft so much that they had to crash land on the island. Then they started battling it out. It would have made a far better movie to follow these two men, who one later shows up to greet the new explorers of Skull Island, and eventually they rescue him. He goes back to his family. But it would have made a far better movie to follow the exploits of this Japanese guy and this white guy, which is a take on Hell in the Pacific with Lee Marvin and Toshiro Mifune. These were two actors who played in Hell in the Pacific, where a Japanese soldier and an American soldier were caught on an island together, and they had to either kill each other or live it out. Eventually, a bombardment of the island killed both of them. That was an excellent movie, but this is somewhat like that. And it would have made far better, as I said before, it would have made a far better movie if they had just stuck with the Japanese airmen and the American airmen trying to live together as enemies on Skull Island. Skull Island, very much recommend it.